Welcome to the Explainer. So, pregnancy. It's this incredible journey of transformations, right? But with all those changes, how in the world do you know what's just normal pregnancy stuff? And what's your body trying to tell you something important? Today, we're going to decode the 7 biggest red flags to watch for. And look, this is not about scaring anyone. It's about empowering you, giving you the knowledge to be confident and in control.
And this quote right here, it nails it. The whole point of this is to swap out that feeling of uncertainty for a feeling of confidence. When you know what to look for, you become a true partner with your medical team. And that partnership is everything for a healthy pregnancy.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with those really early signals and then work our way all through the trimesters, covering everything from bleeding and discharge to swelling, contractions, and probably the most important one, your baby's movements. Okay, first up, let's just dive right into 2 of the signs that can honestly be the most frightening, especially early on. We're going to break down exactly what they could mean so you know precisely what to do.
Now this term, threatened miscarriage, I know it sounds terrifying, but it actually holds a lot of hope. It means that bleeding is a warning sign, not necessarily the final word. Think of it like a smoke alarm going off in your house. It's not telling you the house is burned down, it's screaming at you to act fast, because there's still time to fix the problem.
So the bottom line is really simple. You can't figure this one out on your own. It could be any number of things, and the only person who can tell you what's going on for sure is your doctor. So the right move, the only move, is to take a deep breath and make that call. Immediately. Let them do the detective work. Okay, now for a signal that's a lot more subtle and honestly pretty confusing. What happens when those classic symptoms, the nausea, the sore breasts, what if they just vanish, like overnight? Part of you might be celebrating, right? But it can also be a little warning bell.
And this is where the details really matter. It's totally normal for symptoms to kind of fade out as you cruise into that second trimester. That's expected. What we're talking about here is a sudden, abrupt, all-at-once stop to everything, especially if you're still early in the pregnancy. That's the red flag. And that's your cue to just call your doctor for a quick check-in, just for peace of mind.
All right, let's move on to a topic that, well, nobody loves talking about it, but we have to because it's so important. We're talking about vaginal discharge. Some changes are totally fine, but there are certain colors that are basically your body holding up a big sign that says, hey, call the doctor.
Okay, I want you to really zero in on this. Yellowish or cottage cheese-like discharge? Yeah, that definitely gets a phone call. But if you see green, that is an urgent, top priority red flag. Think of green as meaning go. Go call your doctor right now. It usually points to a bacterial infection that needs to be treated ASAP.
And here's why it's so urgent. This is not just about you being uncomfortable. If you let an infection like that go, it can actually travel up toward the uterus and weaken the amniotic sac, that amazing protective little bubble your baby is living in. So getting treatment isn't just for you. It's about keeping your baby's home safe and sound.
Okay, let's move along into the 2nd and 3rd trimesters. Now we're going to talk about a whole cluster of symptoms. It's not just one thing, but when you see these specific things happening all at once, it can be a major warning sign for a serious condition called preeclampsia.
The absolute key word here is sudden. A little bit of swelling in your feet at the end of a long day, pretty normal. But waking up one morning and your face, hands, and feet are dramatically swollen out of nowhere, that's different. Now, if you pair that sudden swelling with a killer headache that just won't quit and you're seeing spots or blurriness, you don't wait, that's a medical emergency. It's a sign of really high blood pressure. Check it if you can, but get to a doctor right away.
All right, this next part is all about 2 of the most confusing feelings in all of pregnancy. The constant questions of, wait, was that a real contraction? And did I just pee a little or is that something else? Let's clear up the confusion between what's normal and what's a call the doctor now situation.
Okay, this is so important. The easiest way to think about it is this. Braxton Hicks are like your body's dress rehearsal. They're clumsy, they're irregular, they don't have a rhythm, and they usually stop if you change positions or drink some water. Preterm labor, that's the real show starting way too early. The contractions find a rhythm, they get predictable, they get stronger, and nothing you do makes them stop. If you see that pattern happening before 37 weeks, it's time to pick up the phone.
And this one's another one that's really tough to figure out on your own. But here are the clues. Amniotic fluid feels like water. It's thin and it doesn't really have a smell, which is different from urine. It could be a huge movie-style gush, or it could just be a slow, steady trickle that you can't control. Either way, if you have any wetness that seems unusual, you've just got to get it checked out.
And now we have arrived at what might just be the single most important signal of them all. This is the one that you, and only you, have a direct line to every single day: your baby's movement. I absolutely love this quote. Just think about that for a second. Every little kick, every roll, every flutter, that's your baby's way of communicating. It's them saying, "Hey mom, all good in here." It is a daily private conversation about their health, and you're the only other person on the line.
So what's the number people talk about? Generally, once you're in the third trimester, the goal is to feel about 10 distinct movements, kicks, wiggles, rolls, whatever, in about a 2-hour window, especially if you're resting. But, and this is a big but, there is something that's actually even more important than that specific number.
And that's the pattern. You are going to get to know your baby's daily rhythm. You'll learn when they like to have a little dance party and when they take a nap. If you suddenly notice a huge change in that pattern, like a really significant slowdown from what's normal for your baby, that is your signal. It might mean they're trying to conserve energy for some reason. Don't just wait and see if it picks back up. Call your doctor and get checked out right away.
And this right here, this brings everything we've talked about full circle. The big takeaway is that timing changes everything. Having contractions when you're 40 weeks pregnant, that's cause for celebration. Having those exact same contractions at 32 weeks, that's an emergency. It's all about the context.
So let's wrap this all up. Knowing these signs, it's not meant to make you a more anxious person. It's meant to make you a more confident person. It takes you from being a passenger on this journey to being the co-pilot. And above all, trust that gut feeling. If something just feels off to you, make the call. It is never, ever an overreaction to stand up for yourself and for your baby.
So we're going to leave you with that question to think about. Because at the end of the day, your doctors and nurses, they're there for appointments. But you're there 24/7. You are the world's leading expert on your own body, and you are your baby's #1 protector. Thank you so much for joining us on The Explainer.